How's it going, folks? Jack here. So I have been attempting to stay pretty light and humorous on the channel, so to keep the good vibes, but given that this is Spooktober month, there are some things that are slightly chilling that I wanted to share with you, especially because these ones are really taking me the wrong way. Because earlier this year, we have observed a bunch of people who have gotten their comeuppance, or more correctly speaking, in the words of the Joker, gotten what they fucking deserved. With, for example, the likes of Drake being made fun of by the entire world through the song Not Like Us, P. Diddy recently getting a reality check through all of the horrendous and just disgusting things that he's been doing for so many years.
You gave me the oosh muaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son. I mean.
And of course, so many other celebrities, but those are like on the higher echelon on things, like individuals that we can't necessarily relate with. But if we go a little bit more down to earth with regards to people that are more like you and I, like normal citizens, we'll encounter the likes of Arthur Knight. Yeah. Remember this absolute buffoon who would be the equivalent of what would happen if the Kingpin and the Penguin had a disappointing child? Bruh. He went by the name Nicholas Rossi or Nicholas Alaverian, either one of those two or the both simultaneously. He was once accused of some pretty heinous sexual acts on people whom... Man, I don't even know where to start. But to keep the story short, after being accused of all of those things, he supposedly died, and the case that was following this person would of course have been closed since he was supposed to be dead. But then of course in late 2021 there was this British gentleman with the moniker of Arthur Knight, with British suit, accent and demeanor to boot, who was now suddenly accused to have been this Nicholas Rossi and having changed his name to escape, well, jail. Now, this man obviously got found out and was supposed to be extradited, right? And I do believe that it was in a Dateline interview where he put out one of the craziest show that I have ever seen to convince people that he obviously was not this Nicholas Alverdi, that he definitely was Arthur Knight, a man that did not fake his death to escape jail.
What do you say to someone who believes that you are Nicholas Alaverdi?
I am not Andrea. I am not Nicholas Alaverdi, and I do not know how to make this clear.
What do you say to people who say these are crocodile tears? He's putting on a show. This is all an act. Oh,
Andrea, no, that's a low blow. That's a right low blow.
It was quite something. Now, to kind of conclude this news story, he was extradited earlier this year from Scotland and was supposed to stand trial in the US, which he did, but he refused to drop the act. Only just recently has his excuses kind of ran dry and he decided to now admit to being the person that he obviously is. But I wanted to preempt today's story with this one because it was a little bit of light work, the type that we can all kind of laugh at because of the ridiculousness of it all. However, there are some people out there who make my blood boil, who despite displaying similar degenerate behavior, just cannot be laughed at because of just how heinous the things that they do are. Enter Christopher Schultz. He's this 37-year-old that made the rounds on the internet in July of this year after he was taken into custody for charges of second-degree murder and child abuse. This absolute disgusting degenerate left his 2-year-old daughter in a hot car at 109 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 42 degrees Celsius, to go home for 3 hours to do some shopping and watch porn. You cannot make this type of shit up. And naturally, of course, as the cherry on top, he also spent that time playing video game. Because why not? If you're planning on being the worst dad of the year, you might as well just be collecting all the badges and achievements for that. About 2 months ago after this happened, bodycam footage from the police officers that intercepted this event and of course the medics around it was shown by the Law and Crime Network, wherein comes one of the reasons why the Nicholas Rossi situation sprung into my mind when I wanted to talk about this, because this man decided to do an act that was supposed to make what he did lesser?
Is that your wife out there? Yes. Okay. We're gonna make sure she gets down there okay. All right, we have officers escorting her down there. If we need to, we will drive her down there and we'll make the same accommodations for you, all right? What time?
Well, we never do this anywhere, but I'm home, right? Like you're home, you're safe. But
And how long was she sleeping in the car out there?
I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes. And I don't think the air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I had checked on her last, it was still running, she was still sleeping. And then when I went back out, the car was off.
I don't want you to be blindsided by anything, but that's what's going to be going on for right now, okay?
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my...
Not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay? I don't want to keep any secrets. I don't want to hide anything for you. Someone's going to talk to you about what happened, though. All right? We will keep you updated with everything.
Now, I don't know if this man ever tried high school theater classes, but if he did, I certainly do hope that he was put in the position of the clown or the jester, because this is outright just clown behavior. This man pretended to be so fucking sorry and feeling bad about it, and the thing that he proceeded to do afterwards is the thing that freaking blows my mind.
My whole family, my whole family's gonna be ruined.
Would it be all right? So we can't let you do that right now. We have to stand by with you. Okay? As soon as you can, we will let you know.
You can stay in the room if you want, but I'm not gonna talk.
I know this isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finish up, the sooner you can be with your wife. All right?
I'm trying to rinse off
with you.
so I can go to the
I know,
hospital
but
to be with my wife.
we're not going to shower or anything right now. You need to stand by with us.
I don't understand why.
Yep, he got off the death of his daughter like really quick. Suddenly was caring about his hygiene and rancing off to be with his wife. Like, come on man, nobody's buying this bullshit. Perhaps what he was trying to do was to rinse himself of the shame of being an actual drunk, deadbeat fucking father. And I don't know, perhaps that's what the shower was for. But like, to put into perspective just how horrendous this man is. Reports from sites like 11 News during the day that this event happened stated the following: that outside of driving under the influence charges from 11 years ago, Schultz did not have a criminal history. That's what we thought at the time when this thing happened, but of course new information has resurfaced. Like this one here from News 4 from Tucson that makes very clear that 1. The charges have been upgraded to first-degree murder, and during the interviews with the cops, they found out that this man was trying to instill some lies into his other children. Yes, he has more kids, to make himself appear as a genuinely good father. Well, genuinely good might not even be the word here. I'm even minimizing this stuff, as the detective were able to test Schultz's car and found out that it did not turn off after 20 minutes of idling during the test. But they couldn't retrieve specific data to verify when the car turned off while the child was inside because of the airbag not deploying. Now, detective interviewed Schultz's older two children. One of the kids told the forensic interview that she was to tell the person interviewing her that dad was a good dad and it was just an accident. The child told investigators that her father was distracted by playing a video game. One of the children stated that the car was turned off when they were taken inside, which doesn't match Schultz's claims that he left the AC on. For which, by the way, look, we here in Denmark, right, we are very well known. In just Nordic countries, we are known for leaving our children outside to sleep in the stroller while we have the baby monitor and everything turned on to make sure that they are okay. We are famous for that stuff. But you will notice that I mentioned baby monitor because they are constantly being monitored. People around us, the social safety net and all that stuff, they are fine. They're left in nature so that they're able to breathe and they're always being supervised. So I for one would know what it means to like have your child sleeping outside, but not inside of a car at 42 degrees. And here of course it gets even worse, with one of the kids saying that Schultz had left them in the car alone about 59 times in the past, with his wife Erica here having pleaded and told him to stop leaving them in the car so many bloody times. So this is a dude that has a history of just bad parenting behavior and suddenly was acting surprised that he was being held accountable for his deed, treated as a murderer because yes, dude, you freaking killed your child.
Please.
I don't understand why.
I tried explaining that to you. We just need to stand by
And
with
I'm
you.
standing by. Why can't I take
I
a
know.
shower while you stand by? What is...
It's not necessary right now. I'm not going to stand here and watch you shower. There'll be time for that, but it's not right now, okay?
Now, through investigation of the text here, it shows just a history of just how bad this was, how the wife was trying to get him to stop. Like this one here stating that you haven't shown you can stop putting the girls in danger or treating me badly. Even yesterday, you drove home drunk with 2 minors. Wow. I have been asking for 3 years for you to cut back, but it's actually gotten worse. This man shouldn't cut back, he should just be prohibited from ever accessing alcohol ever in his life. And even worse, of course, he was speeding, as she writes, "Why were you going 130 with our baby in the car with alcohol in your system?" To which he replies, "You hate me. She was sleeping. It's fine." This is very hard because I too have a 2-year-old. And one of the hardest things that you can ever witness is being unable to help them feel better when they start crying, when your partner is too exhausted and you want to take over, but like she wants mom more than you. So you always strive to be a better father. And then there are dickheads like this dude who says that it's fine to drive 138. Wow. Now, a timeline made through the investigation of the police on the day that this happened showed that the child had been in the car for an hour and 10 minutes when Schultz began browsing the internet. He spent half an hour on a shopping site and then further continued 5 minutes on a pornographic website because of course he was going to have his goon sesh. There was no one to take care of his child there. Not until her mom came at around 4:15 p.m. it was, I do believe, like, which was 3.5 hours after he has been seen through surveillance, park the car and go inside. This bastard had the gall to say that, oh no, he did it just because he didn't want to wake her from her sleep in 42 degrees. No, it's not that you didn't want to wake her, you didn't want to deal with her, because continuously, when you read such things as the 4 News Tucson investigation there, it keeps on showing that this man just had a pattern of just viewing kids as a burden, like objects. Even worse than that, because he didn't care. Like, for example, one of the unfortunately passed away daughter here, his half-sister, states just how unsurprising it was that witness her half-sister's death. It makes plenty of sense actually. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, she said. Once I had to go and sit out in the car for 4 to 5 hours and continuously had to restart the car and had only eaten once that day. She has type 1 diabetes, so that proved dangerous for her, obviously. She said that she didn't even meet her father until she was 5. Then bitter custody battle developed between her mother and Schultz. Now, she had been taken away through Child Protective Services as her biological mother died. And the crazy part about this is that most people who have ever been part of like a system of adoption hate that, okay? You don't want to be in a system. You would like to have, if not your own parents, at least foster parents who truly care and not be circulated around. But when a child like her the sister here, who wanted her name, last name at least, not to be made use of here, Jessica, state that if only Child Protective Services had moved in to take care of her sister, then none of this would have happened. That is just, that's heart-wrenching.
Initial appearance of the judge within the first 24 hours. Okay. After the first 24 hours, right, the judge will determine bond and things like that as far as what happens next.
Morning. The state is asking for a $1 million bond. Defense counsel.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is unreasonable given the circumstances in this case. This is an unfortunate family tragedy.
Oh, in passing, something I forgot to mention is that the wife and mother of the child, Erica, wanted Christopher Schultz, her husband, to be released so that he could come back home and grieve with them. This was, in my opinion, somewhat perplexing because, for one, as a physician, she was the sole provider of the family, of 3 daughters and an additional 16-year-old that came from Christopher's previous marriage. And so, considering forgiving him for what is, by evidence, considered to be a first-degree murder, either proves that she has the patience of a saint or is kinda dumb. But whichever this is, the man was released to go back home, while the case is still pending. I don't know how legally the proceedings are going to be here, but at least give this man a very, very fucking long time in jail. That's what he deserves. Like, I don't know, this... It made me recall like a weird TV show, because that's unfortunately how my brain works, from the makers of Lost, called From, where like in the very first episode there's this drunken dad who was passed out drunk in a bar and was supposed to actually go home to bar the doors to prevent the monsters from coming in and eat their family. I know it's very graphic of a show, and even the imagery that I'm mentioning right now is kind of wild, but that's what it reminds me of. And the dude, like the characteristic of something like that, while knowing that all of what you're doing is so dangerous, but you are not willing to give away the booze and all the bad behavior, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. And I hope that this carries as much of a hard sentence as they can give this dude. But yeah, I always tend to say that I find reality to be scarier than fiction, and this is again one of those cases. And yeah, just a story that I wanted to share here for October. That's all I wanted to say about this. All right, so that's my rant.